to the ancestors of the Stevens family and the ancestors of the Quellhorst family. We call on all of you today to be around us in this room as we throw the bones for Francis. Yeah. And then in a little bit, we ask that, and then just take it up to the nostril, hold one nostril, find
all of this.
Some in one nostril and some in the other. To see today. We ask that any spirit with mischievous intent can intervention 3 times. Protection of the hearts over the bones. 3 times. What I'm doing now, with your breath inside that chest, with your energy. This is for Francis. Right. Here we go.
I'm Frank. I watched my grand die in October of 2011, and it was just by far the scariest thing I've ever seen. It was just so instant, and it left me both obsessed with what happens after we die and in need of a bit of soul searching. Sangomas far outnumber Western style doctors in South Africa and are often consulted first or exclusively by approximately 80% of our black population. Sangomas are rumoured to heal through consulting through the ancestors. I thought if I found a Sangoma and believed what they had to say, it would put my mind at rest about my gran. People are incredibly superstitious and sensitive about the topic. Perhaps there's some truth in it.
So do you believe in Sangomas?
I don't believe in those people.
Why not?
Those guys, they're bad. You know, they just like foresee things which are all bad. They don't even say good things. They will all say, you are going to die. This person is trying to kill you, whatever. They don't even say good things.
They destroy relationship between people.
Yeah.
Because are saying negative things about the next person you are related to.
I know that they exist. I don't know if I believe in them. Yeah, it's a freaky topic for me.
Do you think a white person can be a Sangoma?
I don't know nothing about Sangoma. I'm not sure.
250 meters. Turn. I don't know where I'm going. What? It said turn, now it's rerouting. I managed to track down 2 Sangomas who turned out to not really be what I expected.
We have a housekeeper who has worked for us for 20 years. In fact, she and I had our daughters at the same time. She'd not been feeling great, gone back to her family in the Eastern Cape, and their community had said, you need to consult a Sangoma, which she did. And the Sangoma told her, you are getting ready to twiza. When it came time for her teacher to come down to Cape Town from the Eastern Cape to do some work with her here, I said to her, I'd really like to meet your teacher. The one said to me, I've dreamt you. I knew who I was coming to see today. And I was quite astounded and brought them in and made tea and all the rest of it. And my daughter had said, I would like them to throw the bones for me. She came out with her eyes on stalks and she said, they want to see you. And they said, you are being called. I'm Alex, and my Sangoma name is Baba Pazes. And I did my final graduating ceremony about 2 years ago.
I think that they've got to do with ancestral beliefs, and I'm not too sure of why people are into the whole ancestral vibe. But yeah, if they do, then I guess it could be a Sangoma, otherwise not.
Can I ask your opinion on Sangomas? Do you think they have true abilities or not?
Yes.
Have you ever been to one before?
I remember seeing that it was face brick.
My name is, well, my birth name is Maya. My spirit name is Nomatongo, which means girl, woman of the ancestors. Even growing up, I could feel things about people. I could see things that other people couldn't see. Needless to say, if you don't know what it's all about, it can be quite scary. So I escaped in many different ways. Drugs, the usual, anything to just not deal with what my reality was. So eventually I realized that staying in Holland would most likely mean that I wouldn't live very long. There was one very specific dream where I saw a man and he looked at me as if he knew who I was, and that dream kind of stayed with me, and I don't know why, because there wasn't anything particularly hectic going on that made me think like, wow, what an intense dream, besides the fact of how he was looking at me. And a couple of years after that dream, I decided to go to a lecture of a very well-known astrologer, Rod Susskind. And when he came up on stage, I was like in shock, because obviously it was the guy from my dream. I was like, okay, so he's real. My feeling of desperation and a fear of just being, because I didn't know what to do with everything that was happening to me, eventually made me send an email to my teacher, who turned out to not just be an astrologer, but he was a Sangoma as well. We said, oh, you shouldn't be telling a Sangoma that you dream about them, because that means that you are being called to become one. Now, me having grown up in Holland was like, Sangoma, I don't even know what that is. So he emailed me back and he said, you are not conventional crazy, you are spiritually ill.
And make me a Sangoma.
And make me a Sangoma.
A good traditional healer.
A good traditional healer.
Who can fortune, or telling fortune.
You can see
sleeping or awake.
So we are on our way to get our bones read by Alex.
I wanted to just keep grounded and get somebody a little more cynical. So I chose Kira, who is our camera lady. She was there through all the interviews, so she had the same kind of interaction with the Sangomas that I have.
I'm from a Catholic sort of background. My dad is Catholic, and they don't believe in rituals like the Sangomas or any kind of rituals like this. So my dad would be very against me going to do something like this.
It is pretty intense when you know nothing about the culture. I'm glad I didn't know, because I'm not sure I would have had the balls to go through with it.
I found it very hard. I'd come a long way and done a lot of blooming work on myself to try and get some sense of empowerment and make my own choices and do the things I wanted to do when I wanted to do them. And I kind of just got there where they said, oh no, but that's not how it's going to work. Now you're going to do what you're told to do. Physically uncomfortable, very exhausting. The eating of things, the vomiting, the cleansing, all that kind of stuff, and it's on an ongoing basis, so it's tough. By the time, for me anyway, by the time those periods were over, when I was there and coming home, it was, for a while, a relief.
You sleep on the floor on a mat. You're not allowed to have sex while you're in training, and that can be years, literally.
The crawling around on your hands and knees is very arduous and grueling. Especially when you're 49, 50 years old, whatever I was.
I always wear my wrist beads and these skins, and I tend to pretty much always wear these around my neck as well as my claw.
It's kind of putrefying, it smells. You've got to wear it. You've got to come home to normal life and sort of drop your kids at school reeking. Just very difficult, a lot of that stuff.
So I'm sure the celibacy isn't too hard.
Oh, it was a walk in the park. It was an absolute walk in the park. It was a relief.
Especially if you smell like dead goat.
Oh, absolutely.
Coco Paces. I'm going to your goat now. I'm going to step it. That noise is called the goat between Gun and Kumchan. The goat's noise. Yeah, the noise of the goat must always be in your ears.
You have to taste things, you have to eat things straight away when the animal's only just been slaughtered. You have to kind of drink bile, and it's practically still pulsating, and it's intensely horrible, the taste.
The whole process is based on cleaning you out so that you're a clean vessel for spirit, because you become a tool. It's not as if I know stuff about people. It is whatever the ancestors are showing me about a person. So I'm really just the tool that brings it, through to a person. So in order to do that, you need to be clean.
That cave experience was also quite tough. One woman set herself on fire in the cave. I mean, they consider the cave ceremony it's a deeply respected one, because people, and the water ones too, there's one part with the river where you have to go under, and they hold you under for a bit, where some of those people drown, and they then say those river ancestors took them, or the cave ceremony, that person wasn't up to it, and they take you.
To get situations where you can feel a lot of anger coming from people when they see how you're dressed and they don't understand, and a lot of Christian people get upset with me or say like, oh, I'm going to pray for your soul, and I'm like, Marcos, thank you. Prayers are always welcome.
How can you prove this? How can you quantify it? How can you test it? I don't know if you can. I'm not scientific at all. I don't know how to think scientifically. I'm a feeling, intuitive kind of person.
It's quite cool.
It was evident that becoming a Sangoma was neither a glamorous process nor a career. It makes me think that there must be truth to being a Sangoma. Otherwise, it's just a really long, strenuous way of trying to rip people off.
Your ancestors would wish for you to honor them in some way. Because it's open, it's a wonderful thing, and they're asking for some honoring. And in fact, maybe if you go through a little ritual and a ceremony of your own to honor your ancestors, it's got something to do with river and sea.
It's also quite cool that you say that, because my gran passed in October.
Yeah.
And we still have to get to, kind of throw ashes. And we plan to throw them in the sea at Margate.
There was this white crystal that had been flung to the edge, and I don't know, something about this crystal, like I was drawn to this white crystal. I didn't know why, but I kept on staring at it, and I just kept on being drawn to it.
If you sit with it and hold it for a bit and ask for a stone and then just open it, it will give you something. So let's see what crystals you can get today from all of this.
So if I just open it?
Feel it first and just have the intention. I'm looking for a stone. Present me with one that's going to be important to me and work with me at the moment. What is quartz crystal? There it is. Now read all its attributes and what it does.
Tripping!
I'm telling you, it does work.
Alex actually gave me one of the crystals, which I thought was so cool.
My journey led me to consult Norma, and unfortunately she wouldn't let me film it, so all I can give you is my word. She mentioned things about my gran that were just impossible to know, and both Norma and Alex have just had the most profound impact on my spirituality.
I've now built my own shrine, and I continue to light a candle for my ancestors every day.
Watching the twilight behind the telephone lines with nothing to prove or to assume. Just thinking that your thoughts are different than mine. In my rear view, I watch you and I gave you your life, but you give me